Welcome to the Nexus TV, February 15th, 2026. Global leaders gather in Munich, tensions rise between Washington and Tehran, and Africa concludes a pivotal summit in Addis Ababa. Here's your comprehensive world update. Geopolitics and security. Munich Security Conference 2026. At the Munich Security Conference, global power dynamics took center stage. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio told allies that the world has entered a new era defined by strategic competition with Russia and China. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas called for a new European doctrine focused on strategic autonomy and stronger defense readiness. The message was clear: Europe must safeguard its economy and democracy in an increasingly fragmented world. US-Iran standoff. Tensions escalated in the Middle East as President Donald Trump deployed what officials describe as the world's largest aircraft carrier to the region. At the same time, Washington is preparing for a second round of nuclear negotiations with Tehran. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu demanded that any agreement must include the complete dismantling of Iran's nuclear infrastructure, raising the stakes ahead of the talks. China's strategic oil reserves. Meanwhile, analysts report that China has accumulated over 1.1 billion barrels of crude oil in strategic reserves. Experts suggest this massive stockpiling may serve as a warning indicator of preparedness for a potential confrontation with the United States over Taiwan. The build-up underscores growing strategic tensions in the Indo-Pacific. Ukraine internal strife. In Ukraine, former Energy Minister German Galushchenko was arrested by the National Anti-Corruption Bureau while allegedly attempting to flee across the border. The arrest highlights internal political and anti-corruption pressures even as the country continues to face external military threats. Economic trends. Global risks 2026. The World Economic Forum's 2026 Global Risks Report ranks geoeconomic confrontation as the #1 global threat this year. Trade wars, rising tariffs, and AI-driven disruptions are reshaping supply chains and economic stability worldwide. Market volatility. Markets reacted cautiously. Gulf stock exchanges slipped amid concerns over US-Iran tensions. Bitcoin fell to around $78,800 as geopolitical uncertainty and leadership shifts at the Federal Reserve rattled investors. Energy markets. Oil prices climbed as traders weighed the potential disruption of global supply routes in the Middle East. Energy remains at the center of geopolitical strategy in 2026. Conflict and regional developments. African Union Summit. The 39th Ordinary Session of the African Union Assembly concluded in Addis Ababa. Leaders focused on vaccine sovereignty under the Achieve Africa initiative, a move aimed at reducing dependence on external pharmaceutical supply chains. Ethiopia also highlighted the economic cost of its landlocked status, estimated at $31 billion annually. Ukraine-Russia Africa Theater. Intelligence assessments indicate the Ukraine-Russia conflict has expanded into what some describe as a transcontinental struggle. Reports suggest Ukraine has executed cyberkinetic operations targeting Russian paramilitary interests, specifically the Africa Corps in Sudan and Mali. This marks a widening of the conflict beyond Eastern Europe. South Asia, Pakistan. In South Asia, Pakistan continues to face instability in Balochistan, following a major insurgent attack on the Jafar Express. The long-standing crisis in the region remains a significant security challenge for Islamabad. Closing. From Munich to Addis Ababa, from Tehran to Taipei, global politics in 2026 is defined by strategic competition, economic uncertainty, and shifting alliances. Stay informed, stay aware, and thank you for watching.